Believe it or not, I have actually been applying to jobs recently. Not a lot. I refuse to spend a lot of time on job applications these days, but just the amount of time you have to spend just to apply to a single job sometimes, it's absolutely brutal. And by the way, I'm not using humiliation ritual in the title just because that's a trend right now. I think the job application process is actually a humiliation ritual these companies force us to go through so they know that whoever they hire is going to be a good little docile worker bee that isn't going to question things too much. So I mostly look on Indeed.com because some of the jobs will let you just apply really quick where you just have to submit your resume and that's it. So I like that. But most jobs, even on Indeed, they're like, you have to go apply on the company website. Then they want you to upload your resume. Then they have all these forms you have to fill in, which is stuff like where you went to school, where have you worked in the past, and everything like that. So it's basically everything that would usually be on a person's resume. So somebody tell me this. Why the hell am I spending 30 minutes to an hour filling out all of the same exact information that's already on the damn resume I uploaded? Are they not going to read the resume? If you're not going to read the resume, then why are you asking me to upload it? And the other problem is the forms on these applications. Most of them are using some kind of third-party software. I have seen some that actually at least made their own application page, which, they're still asking too much, making me fill out a form. But I guess that's a little bit better, in theory. By the way, I applied to Shopify, and they had a form to input your pronouns, and holy shit, there was a lot of freaking options. Like, even if you're like uber progressive to a mentally challenged level, how many pronoun options do you need? I swear to God, Shopify's pronouns had a drop-down box with like a dozen options, and then it still had where you could select other and input your own custom pronoun. One of the options was fair or something like that. It was spelled FAE/FAER. What is that? What is that? I know pronoun discourse is a tired topic. I'm not trying to sit here and repeat old attack helicopter memes or anything like that, but I encountered this recently, and Shopify wasn't the only one with silly options like that, but it was probably the most ridiculous. But yeah, that's not really the topic of this video. I just had to mention that because it was just too much. But yeah, you apply to these jobs, you spend 30 minutes or even an hour sometimes manually typing in all the same information that's already on your resume. And one thing I hate, I think it's just a certain third-party software a lot of these companies use for this, but it is a lot of companies that have this. It has a section for you to enter in all your skills, but you can't just type them in. Like, you start typing and then it searches all the options that it has that match what you typed, and then you have to select the skill you want to put from the pre-selected options. But it's really slow and laggy. It doesn't always have the skill or the software or whatever you're looking for, or it might be in there, but it's phrased differently. Like, again, I'm already uploading my resume. What is this for? I'm guessing the purpose of all this is so they can use some kind of software to automatically mass reject certain applications that didn't input the right skills or something. And also, it's probably to harvest your data. But it's humiliating just going through this process over and over again because this is the standard. Most applications are like this. So you go through this whole process, filling in all this information, and then 99% of the time, you just get ghosted. But yeah, searching for each and every skill manually like that, it just takes way too long. Eventually, I started just entering in a custom skill that just says "see resume," and I just leave it at that. I can't be bothered, you know. I know that makes it a lot less likely that I'm actually gonna get an interview, but like, I don't know. You could say that I'm doing my own little form of a protest. Maybe that's what it is, but I'm not I'm not putting up with this. It's ridiculous. So I just put in a custom skill. It says "see resume," and that's it. And I started trying to do that on other parts too, like when it asks for education history or employment history. I try to just write "see resume," but most of the time they won't even let you do that. Like for education history, you have to actually select a valid university from a drop down menu. It's just ridiculous. But the thing is, they can do that. These companies can get away with this because people have to work. You know, people have to make a living. So they can make us do whatever they want, basically. So I think it literally is a humiliation ritual. You have to jump through hoops just to get the job because that's how you prove you're a perfect little obedient cog that's ready to fit right into their oppressive machine that, in a lot of cases, doesn't even produce anything of value. Especially a lot of these software development jobs I've been applying to, their products are 100% fake. They're just existing off of grants and investor funding, but they'll never actually turn a profit. It's just a scam from the start. Everybody talks about that Theranos company, or Theranos, however you say it. The company with that psychopathic blonde woman. I think her name was Elizabeth Holmes. You know, they were supposedly developing a new kind of medical technology or something, but then it turned out to just be completely fake the entire time. Well, that was a huge scandal, probably just because of the scale of it. I think the company was valued at multiple billions of dollars before it all came crashing down. But I think most people don't realize just how common that kind of business strategy is. I would bet probably at least 1/3 of every tech company is just outright fraudulent, and I'd say probably 95% or more are committing some kind of fraud, just with the discrepancies between what they can actually do and what they say they can do, or what they say they'll be able to do as long as they reach their funding goals. So these companies, a lot of the time, and this does include smaller companies too, by the way, it's just all a bunch of phony, fraudulent hubbubaloo, whatever, from the ground up. It's all fake from the ground up. But we're also cucked. We just put up with it anyways. And we waste hours of our own time willingly giving up our precious personal information, our data. We're just giving it away for free. Just like my ex did with that dumbass from her school that thinks that quoting Anchorman is the epitome of comedy. And we just give it up. Then they ghost us. Because half of these freaking job postings aren't even real to begin with. It's just some kind of scam they're doing where they put up a fake job posting to prove that they technically tried to hire Americans before they give the jobs away to third world whatevers for half the cost of what they would be paying an American. Or I don't know like why all the reasons they might be putting up fake job postings, but they definitely do it. One thing I've come across in the defense industry, so I tried applying to some jobs in the defense industry because I've heard that their interview process tends to be less intense than private sector jobs. Like they don't make you solve data structure and algorithm riddles on a whiteboard during the interview. But something I've learned with a lot of defense contractors, what they'll do is they bid on contracts with the government, then the government awards the contracts to the lowest bidder, And we're talking about multi-million-dollar contracts or even multi-billion-dollar contracts that are expected to last for years and years sometimes. So what these companies do, they'll bid on a contract, then put up job postings for that contract that they don't even know if they're going to get. Then they make people go through the whole application process and the whole interview process with multiple rounds of interviews or whatever sometimes. Then if they don't end up winning the contract, whoops, oh, would you look at that? It turns out that job doesn't even exist. It never did. They were just wasting everybody's time. And I'm sure this is prevalent in any kind of contracting business that bids on contracts. They're all doing this. I don't know how it's even legal. It might not be, actually, but I guarantee they're doing it. I've seen it. They're doing it. They're getting away with it with impunity. They're making us jump through hoops just in case maybe they need you for a job that might not even exist. They don't even know yet. I do think currently it's worse than it ever has been before. Despite supposedly living in a modern society with all sorts of worker protections and whatnot, these companies are just harvesting our data, tricking us into signing it over willingly. They don't respect our time. They don't respect our humanity. But it's really nothing new. There's just a lot more ways for them nowadays to screw us over. I swear, if these companies spent half the resources that they spend on finding new ways to use us for all we're worth, if they spent those resources instead on actually innovating in their products or services or whatever, I swear, we'd be living in a futuristic utopia right now. Talking about some Jetsons type shit. We'd all be waking up every morning feeling like freaking Elroy Jetson. No alarm. Not waking up to an alarm. This is a utopia, okay? We'd be waking up every morning just to a high-tech, ultra-realistic robot maid looking like that hologram floozy off Blade Runner, Anna de Armas, I think. You know, we'd all have an android maid that looks like that, or, looks like whoever you want it to look like. She wakes you up with a sloppy alarm. You know what I'm talking about? But the alarm don't ring, okay? It's a sloppy alarm. It don't ring, though. There's no sound. Well, there's sound, but, not like... You get what I'm saying, Your ears might be ringing, but the alarm don't ring, okay? Then you get a delicious bacon, egg, cheese biscuit put together at the press of a button on a freaking quantum matter assembler machine. That's how we could be living, okay? That's how we could be living if these tech companies focused on innovating their products. But that's not where they want to innovate. Where they want to innovate is how to make a more retarded AI chatbot to make us talk to when we fill out our application. And maybe that scenario I presented, maybe our utopia wouldn't be quite that lavish. I exaggerate a little bit, but the way we could be living, it could be a lot better than this. What we have in reality, it could be a lot better than this. But these greedy corporations are not trying to innovate on products and services any more than they have to maximize profits. They do more innovation on finding loopholes and new ways to trick us into giving them our data. What's that meme that's like, born too late to explore the Earth, but born too early to explore the galaxy? How about born too late to contract the black lung by the time I'm 17 from working in the coal mines, born at just the right time to get spiritually spit roasted by Jeff Bezos and Mark Zuckerberg. And frickin', who else we got? Talking about Squeelon Musk. I don't know. I should have just stopped at Mark Zuckerberg. That was a good one. Whatever. But this is nothing new, really. There's a lot of new techniques they use to humiliate us during the application process, but it's already been a humiliation ritual going way back. I remember, this is how old I am, by the way. I remember when I was 17, I applied for a job at Sears at the local mall. My mom was driving me around, making me go into places to apply for jobs in person because there was still some of that going on back then. There was already a lot of online applications, but there was some in-person applications still. So my mom drove me to Sears, or maybe I just drove myself that time, actually. I don't really remember. This was like 20 years ago. But I went in and I asked for a job application, and they were like, I remember it was two black women there, an older woman, and the other one was probably close to my age. But as soon as I asked for an application, they were both pretty much like, hell yeah, we need people. Please apply. Like they were acting like the job was mine. Like it's just a foregone conclusion. Keep in mind, by the way, this was in my Chad Light years. I didn't actually ever capitalize on my looks, but I did get some positive reinforcement, such as these two black queens at Sears basically salivating at the idea of me joining the team. And really, I feel like black chicks were really into me back then. I remember one time the cashier at Taco Bell was hitting on me very aggressively. Like I was just ordering a bunch of beefy 5-layer burritos for 86 cents each, by the way, if I recall correctly. Everybody talks about college tuition outpacing inflation. What about Taco Bell prices? That's the real silent sleeper. But yeah, this black, chubby Taco Bell cashier was really flirting with me. Like, she was complimenting my outfit and everything. I remember she said, like, oh, and he got his hat all gangsta too. All right, all right. Because I was wearing my American Eagle hat with a bit of a tilt. Because I did have swag back then. You wouldn't know it now by looking at me. And I mean, maybe that's the whole thing. Maybe I do still have swag, but it's just that nobody recognizes swag anymore. People these days only see Riz or Aura or whatever. But I don't have any of that. I just got swag. I'm over here swagged out harder than freaking Soulja Boy dancing on top of some spinners, but nobody even knows it. This modern generation, they don't even got swag vision. They just can't see me. Okay, yeah. So I went into Sears to apply for a job, and they were acting like I would definitely get hired. All I got to do is apply. So they told me to go over to this computer they had in the back room, and I could do the application there. So I was filling out their little digital application, and I got like 30 minutes into it at least, maybe longer. It was making me do a personality quiz, which was very common back in those days. I think a lot of retail jobs and fast food jobs probably still make you take a personality assessment, but I don't know. I've been out of that game for a while. So I finished up the lengthy personality test. I filled out some other information, and then the last question was like, click here to verify you are at least 18 years of age. And that was the last question on the thing. But I wasn't 18, I was 17. So I got up and I went back over to the beautiful black goddesses of the local Sears, because there was no way to progress through the application without verifying that you're at least 18 years of age. So I went back to these queens to tell them what happened. Probably looking swagged out as shit, by the way. Probably had on a sick American Eagle fit, maybe some Hollister, because I think this might have been back when I was surfer dude maxing. Never even touched a surfboard in my life, but I was surfer dude maxing, and apparently black girls were into it, believe it or not. But I don't know, I mean, that's just swag, I guess. You either got it or you don't. But yeah, the younger goddess had a look of despair just written all over her countenance. And the older one was like, that's too bad. See, you do have to be 18 or older to work here. Her voice sounded nothing like that, I'm sure. I don't really remember. That was a weird one I did there. But, just like, God freaking damn it, though, fuck. I filled out the whole personality assessment on their computer. If somebody ever committed some kind of fraud or whatever, or some other kind of dark web internet crimes using that computer, guess whose fingerprints were all over that mouse? Yeah, mine. Honestly, I wouldn't even be surprised if that computer was just a swag-sucking machine in disguise. And that was actually the day that I lost my swag. Because I'm pretty sure the Taco Bell thing happened before that. But yeah, so I didn't get the job at Sears. I lost my swag. Maybe there's a connection there. I don't know. Not really sure. But the point I'm trying to make is that applying to jobs has always been a bullshit circus operation. It's always been a waste of time. Like, they could make the process way more efficient. But I'm convinced it actually is a humiliation ritual. Celebrities have to they have to date Katy Perry or wear a dress in a Saturday Night Live sketch or something like that for their humiliation ritual so they can join the Illuminati. That's their humiliation ritual. But me and you, we got to fill in all these forms with the same information that's already on our resume, or take some horse hockey retarded personality assessment or something, waste all our damn time, lose all our swag, and we got to do that crap just to try to get a job, usually somewhere we don't even almost want to work at. But we're all just trying to survive out here. Nobody actually wants to work for one of these evil, greedy corporations, making probably not even half of the value that they're providing to the company. If it's even a real company that actually produces anything of value in the first place, nobody wants to have to go through that. Now that I think about it, I think that might be what happened to all the swag in the world. Because back when I was coming up, there used to be plenty of swag to go around. Lots of guys had swag. I had swag, and I'm a true mental cell. Now everybody's just talking about aura. I hate to be the one to tell you this, in case you didn't already know, but aura is... You don't want to have aura. Okay? Aura is for the ladies. Okay? If you're a man, like a real man's man, then what you want to have is swag. But I think all the swag got sucked out of everybody through these damn online job applications. Every time you select a skill from a drop-down menu, you lose a little bit of swag. And don't even get me started on cover letters. If you write even one cover letter for these greedy technocrats, then you lose all your swag. All of it. And once it's gone for good. You can't get it back. Take it from me. I used to write lots and lots of cover letters, and I'm pretty sure that's the main reason I don't have a harem of black queens right now. But seriously, cover letters are bullshit. Do not write a cover letter. Even if it's required, like if it won't let you submit the application without attaching a cover letter, just attach a blank Word document, or just attach your resume again. Don't actually write a cover letter. Don't do it. They just use the cover letters to weed out chumps. Well, they do want to hire chumps, but they don't want groveling chumps. So if you actually attach a cover letter, they see that and they know that you are a groveling chump, and you're definitely not getting hired. So yeah, don't write cover letters. At this point, I only actually bother applying to a job if it lets me do it with the easy apply on Indeed, where I can just click apply and it already has my resume attached, so I just submit it and that's it. I'm done humiliating myself. I honestly am just way past the point of caring if I even do get hired. I kind of don't want a job anyways. I kind of don't. I kind of just want to continue living as a NEET. I do want to make more money, but, I've already lost all my swag. I'm not getting it back. Like I say, you lose it, you can't get it back. I'm not letting them humiliate me any further past this point. They took all my swag. What else can you take? My soul? No, thank you. I'm not doing it. And you know what really pisses me off? When you go to apply for a job and it takes you to the company's website and they make you create an account to apply. Like, get real. I hope your headquarters, I hope a recreation of your company headquarters in Minecraft gets burned to the fucking ground. And by the way, anyone that builds a recreation of a corporation's headquarters in Minecraft or Valheim or whatever, you can do it in any game. Anyone that builds a corporation's headquarters in a game and then burns it to the ground in the game, that is the only way to regenerate swag. Just so you know. And I think it's pretty darn clear that I am talking about video games here, okay? So don't even go there. Everybody knows I am an epic PC gamer, okay? I'm not trying to make any weird metaphors or anything. I like Minecraft, okay? What can I say? Sue me. All right, I think that's enough for this one. Please like the video if you agree that there used to be more swag in the world, and like me, you're just trying to figure out what is going on. Where is all the swag? Where has the swag gone? And I don't want aura, okay? I don't swing that way. Some of y'all might, but I don't. I don't swing that way. I don't want aura. I don't have any, and I'm glad. I don't want it. But seriously, watch one of my other videos, please. There's probably one showing on the screen right now. That's the best way you can help me out because I'm pretty sure nobody's going to hire me. Okay, so thank you for watching.